All right, everyone, there's a bit of undue controversy right now because Janet Jackson was telling it how it was, which is that Kamala Harris is not predominantly of African ancestry. She's predominantly of Indian ancestry. She follows under the banner of BIPOC, which is an invention of the liberal movement. Liberal, small L, by the way, for Europeans. When Americans use this term, typically we mean like left-leaning, like the id pol sort of thing. I realize that liberal means more libertarian-ish in European parlance. I'm just using the colloquial method here. Janet Jackson told the truth, fundamentally. She said, well, you know, I don't believe that Kamala Harris is black. She's not. She's predominantly of Indian heritage. The fact is that the experience that's experienced by a person in the United States of predominantly African heritage, that is, that they are black in the colloquial sense of the term. Linguistics make a big difference here. We need to understand this. Typically, when we use the term black, we mean somebody who is like their family came from Nigeria or Rwanda or something like that. We don't generally use that term for people who are mainly from the subcontinent. Now, I have no problem with Indian people. Trust me, I intend to visit India. India seems pretty based to me, actually, especially with Narendra Modi leading the country, which is hilarious, by the way, to me. I want to eat all the food, I want to see all the sights, I want to visit the temples and do all of the things. But the sum and substance of it is the experience that's had by somebody who is predominantly of, say, Indian origin, and the experience of somebody who's primarily of Ghanaian origin, they're not the same thing. They are not the same people. The BIPOC label, actually, when you think about it, is kind of humiliating and dehumanizing. You're saying that somebody who had ancestors who were slaves, and they've been in the country since, you know, the early 1800s or something like that, that their life experience is the same as somebody who literally just immigrated from Indonesia. I consider this to be humiliating. Like I'm part Native American, supposedly. We're not 100% sure. Supposedly I'm part Abenaki. Does that make me BIPOC? I appear to be white. I'm mainly Caucasian. If I was of a little bit of a darker skin complexion, the Democratic Party would be sending me mailers. I consider this to be dehumanizing. When they appeal to people who are supposedly Native American, or whatever the fuck that means, you know, again, there's a difference between the different tribes that comprised the pre-United States as well. When they refer to us all as being effectively the same, I find it to be sad, actually. Like, for example, when I was signing up for, you sign up for colleges and shit like that, I was like, maybe I should put Native American down. Technically speaking, it's probably true, although I don't have any tribal membership to show for it. I look a little bit Native American, I think. I think that people can see that. There's a slight Asiatic mix to it. That being said, I didn't want to do that. So I just put down white, Caucasian. Probably would have gotten into some better universities if I had done otherwise, by the way. Just saying, we have a discriminatory society, but it's not discriminatory in the same way that the Democrats typically cast it off as being. They've invented this entire column which regards people, as long as they're not, waspish or Germanic or something like that, regards them as being fundamentally the same. Well, their lives aren't the same. A person who came in second gen from Africa is not the same as some mestizo from Mexico. They're not the same thing. They have different life experiences. They've had different experiences in their home country, maybe in the United States, etc. Janet Jackson is fundamentally telling the truth. What does she get called off for? This is election disinfo. Yeah, the Russians told Janet Jackson to say Kamala Harris wasn't black. That makes a whole lot of fucking sense. I mean, I'm looking at this story, I'm thinking again, that there have been like a dozen times in this election cycle, and I'm thinking that I'm having a stroke because I can't even believe what I'm reading. This is Janet Jackson, by the way. Janet Jackson happens to be actually black. She probably knows what she's talking about. I don't think that Kamala Harris actually carries collard greens in her handbag. I'm just saying. She ain't hep to the stereotype. She can go to the black convention at the, black church and start breaking down into Ebonics all she wants. That doesn't make her of African origin. She was raised mainly in Jamaica. She's mainly of Indian origin. She's part of BIPOC, but that's a contrivance. It's been contrived. It's not even real. It's just an illusion. This whole togetherness thing that they're trying to create is nothing more than an illusion when you think about it. You think that this sort of thing is going to bring unity to the United States? No, I think that it's going to drive people further apart because it pisses certain people off. And Janet Jackson, by the way, is a celebrity. She's rich. She's affluent. She's a multi-millionaire. She's fucking Janet Jackson. And again, related to Michael Jackson, even more fucking rich, although the entire family got fucking screwed over. She's not part of the lay people that would typically be targeted by such propaganda. She's at a little bit more latitude to be able to speak out about these things. And I sympathize with her. I mean, your family's been through hell, number one, and then number two, you're getting dragged by the legacy media for telling the truth. It's funny to see it come from the Jackson family at all, by the way. Whenever a celebrity steps out of line, they always get star-whacked. You can look up that particular term, and you'll know what I'm talking about. He's telling the truth. Kamala Harris is not predominantly of African origin. When she therefore labels herself black, she's lying, effectively. She is BIPOC, but BIPOC means nothing. The entire terminology means absolutely nothing at all. Again, you're telling me, some Indonesian is the same as somebody who came in from Rwanda. They're not the same thing. Different nations. Different ethnic groups of people with different experiences. I find it discriminatory to even use the term. That's why I shell it all of the time whenever possible. Link in the description, archived of course. Janet Jackson said nothing wrong. She's completely right. She goes to a concert and says, well, I'm not sure that she's black. Oh my God. Terrible. Janet Jackson is discriminating. Now, I thought that people who are black couldn't discriminate. I've been told that by liberals for most of my life. Very, very interesting. As soon as there's a presidential candidate, though, involved, one that's on the liberal side of politics, then you're not allowed to criticize them so much, now are you? That's about all. Peace out.